Hey there folks, SeKo Starcraft back with the grand finals of the Zotac Cup number 156. Got Hyun, Red Zerg versus GungFuBanda. Good luck, have fun, he says. I don't know anything about GungFuBanda, but he got all the way to the finals of this, so it's gotta be worth something, for sure. Now, I've casted quite a few of the games from the Zotac Cup, but I've been following it super closely, so I'm quite excited to see what GungFuBanda brings to the table, because Hyun obviously has got a reputation of being... You gay? I think there might be some mistranslated things in here. It's okay. Hyun is obviously from Korea, so that might give us a little bit of insight into that. Regardless, speed it up slightly at the beginning. Do you like me too? Absolutely he does. Then he's fine. He's gonna have a gateway, and then he's gonna go into a scout. On this side, I'd be surprised. Yeah, I've been surprised if we didn't see a pool first. That just seems to be what everybody's doing these days. It is the fanny pack of the current meta game. Is he gonna? Nope, he's not. He's gonna have to chase for a while now. Let's see, I'm pretty sure that the Protoss behind this... Ooh, just sneaked that one out. Nope, got it in there. I've noticed that happen a lot with Protoss. They get a little cheeky with their patrol movements. Success! Great success! As good player Dragon would say. Guess these guys are just having a little bit of fun here at the beginning. I lost game. Yeah, well... We'll see how good you can do. I said I'm kind of rooting for GungFuBanda out of this, just simply because I think the favors strongly for Hyun in this game. Anyways, we'll speed it back up here as we're crawling through. Hyun's scouting what's going on. Man, I want to speed it up, but my computer just doesn't like it when I speed it up that much. I've had this computer for something like 2 or 3 years. Doesn't seem that old, but in the grand scheme of gaming and the capacities of computers, it's just kind of getting by. Now, Hyun should, yeah, he's on his way back to scout this. We'll see if we get a fast third up. That's quite the standard approach right now, but I do like when people put on a little bit of funky pressure, just for the sake of throwing off the other opponent. This is a best of 5 series, so throwing off something kind of funky at the beginning is always, I always think is a good move. That way you know that your opponent isn't going to be able to have just watched some of your replays and know exactly what you're going to do. Happily, the kind of game style that I play at the bottoms of the of the Starcraft world, so there's not anybody who's going to familiarize themselves with my games, and they're so different all the time that it wouldn't matter too much anyway. Just working on some supply depots. Just a couple lings, one at each watchtower. We're going to have the Mothership Core just go out there and shoot that one guy away. Speed is on the way, and we haven't seen a third hatchery yet. So I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe roaches? Maybe go for Mick Roach Bust Burger. 3 gateways at the front. So this is essentially 4-gate expand, which I think is quite common. He's just going to let that burn down in a cruel way. Check the units here. Good worker lead out of Hyun. Couple more lings on the way. He's getting up. He's keeping ahead on his supply. I am interested. Nope. There down goes the third and a roach. So it looks like there might be some roach pressure into this third base here. But because he threw down his third hatch, I don't assume that he's going to go for anything too funky. Whereas this 4-gate timing out of the Protoss player looks like Hyun is just now kind of aware of it. He sees the pylon, so he should know what's coming at him. It'll be a while for the roaches, so we see a crawler going down and 14 lings. Queen's moving to the front to help out. Queen's still staying in the main for the injects. Good chunk of zealots here. These are going to do really good, obviously, against the lings that are about to pop out. So Hyun's just going to have to run away for a while. Don't lose your queen. Whoa, that is a lot of zealots coming out. I don't know if these lings are going to be the right choice here. You might have to wait for roaches to come out, because that's just so many zealots. They're just going to do so well against these zerglings. 6 roaches on the way. Crawler gets killed pretty fast. Another time warp going down. Hyun's in a little bit of trouble with this push. It's a nice little 2-base timing here. Gonna get lots of damage in. He could probably essentially run all these drones away until these roaches come out, which is what I would have assumed he would have done in order to try and save as much economy as possible. With this pylon, it does look like the Protoss player is going to try to commit as much as possible here. Hold position on the drones. That's really screwing up a lot of the zealots here who want to obviously attack the roaches. That worked out quite well for him. Might lose a few more workers down here just because the roaches haven't gone down the ramp yet. TT. Guess he's crying a little bit over this one. If we look at the resources lost, 5 workers. That's actually not too bad considering the type of pressure that happened here. The zealot's really not going to get away. He's going to kill the roach. No, he's going to do a little micro on that roach. So if we go back to the units tab here, we've got pretty much an even game out of economy now. A slight lead for the Protoss even. So that was a very effective push. I know that the Protoss player lost all of its units. Void Ray on the way. That Void Ray will stop any roach pressure. So it looks like GungFuBanda was pretty set up for this particular type of game. Evo Chambers finally on the way. Forge finally on the way. Upgrades will seem to have a little bit of a lead probably for GungFu here. I feel so bad. He must have ate Taco Bell. We've got an expansion coming up on this side. Not expansion, a macro hatch. So I'm interested to see if there's going to be a little bit of pressure coming out of the Zerg player here. But with this Void Ray out, there isn't going to be a lot of damage that can really be done. I'm actually kind of surprised he didn't go for maybe a Phoenix if he's going to go for the Overlords. But because Hyun saw that Overlord get killed, I would have assumed he would have prepared by making a few more Overlords, because he is supply blocked horrendously. And he also probably doesn't want to get his roaches caught out here because they don't have speed yet. Upgrades are actually fairly well timed with each other. Hyun started his more quickly after he got his Evo Chamber down. Been really just pumping out the units, trying to regain that drone lead, and he has one, but very narrowly. It's not really that big of a lead at all. Got the creep spread, nice layout here. I don't think that's in the way of the hatch. It might be. You might have to kill that off. Once again, Void Rays are just going to chase down the roaches. And behind this, we're going to have another 2-base push. Likely, as the Protoss player will probably expand behind this, I would think. This isn't too big of an army that, with Hydras coming out, Hyun wouldn't be able to deal with it. Grooved Spines on the way. Those shouldn't be too far off of being able to finish up with the +1, and the roach speed will be done here in a moment. Forward Pylon helping out a bit with the army. I don't think this is enough, but does he have an Observer? No, he doesn't have an Observer. I don't think he even has Robotech yet out, does he? No, he doesn't. It's a pretty good sized army for GungFu here. But these force fields are going to have to be really good. This army from Hyun might just end up getting massacred at this point. But a lot of the units from GungFu aren't really being super effective there in the back. Supply-wise, Hyun is being able to power out 13 more roaches on the way. He's going to need those to pop here. Grooved Spines is finished. +1 is about to finish as well. Good force fields. This will be a very cost-effective trade for GungFu here. Might actually be enough to kill Hyun. We'll see. He should just be mining, I think, with these workers while he's waiting for these force fields to drop. But he does need them. There's no zealots really in this composition, so the drones will actually be fairly effective at tanking some damage. Good force fields on the ramp are somewhat blocking out units. Queen's coming up, but should get shot down. Pretty tight supply race right now, but obviously there's a lot of drone kills for the Protoss players, so this might actually turn out to be pretty good for GungFu, even if he did lose his army. Falling back with the Stalkers now. Lol. Feels so bad again. Well, if we look at the units tab, I mean, pretty good worker lead right now out of our Protoss player, but now he really needs to just hold for right now. And keeping in this choke will probably do that just fine. Behind this, Hyun's got to remake all those drones again. So 2 really good attacks here out of GungFu. Might have been good to take the Mothership Core with him and recall, something like that. This isn't too big of an army from the Zerg player. Protoss player might be able to take him on because he's got more zealots in the composition. No more upgrades coming out yet from either of these players. I think it's a bit of a mistake they do. Well, at least Hyun's got a big pile of resources to be able to keep moving with his upgrades. I don't know if he anticipates this getting past the mid game, but if he doesn't have that upgrade lead, he's going to have to make sure he's got a heck of a lot more units. That is a pretty good sizable Protoss army, and yeah, we just see Hyun running away again. Oh, did he lose his Hydralisk den during all that? Wow, that's unfortunate. I wonder if he realized that up until now. Roaches might not do as well. You'll see that Hyun right now, what he's trying to do is delay the Protoss to get out more units, so he's running around in a bit of a circle. We'll see, the Protoss player will almost certainly have to take the bait, just because this is too many units right now for our Protoss player to deal with. Good little run by. Should be able to get into the main and get lots of damage in. Zealots warp in, but that's still too many Lings. Roaches are going to delay a few things. Taking out these pylons would be worthwhile. In the base, Lings are actually getting cut up pretty good here. Zealots are just about to fall. Stacking on the assimilator there. This turned out really well for Hyun. It's not that this did a ton of damage. It's that behind this, he actually got time to get out 21 Hydralisks. He needed that. If the Protoss player pushed in, he probably would have ended up losing a lot of his base in that meantime. But there was no real way for the Protoss player to be able to counter that push. The Hydras don't have speed right now, so these Roaches might be getting a little too far ahead of themselves. Yeah, they're going to have to back up. The army also split up with the pathing. He could have lost a lot of units there if he got himself caught in the off guard. He's trying to get himself a nice concave here. I don't know if that pylon's really that important. That's a great concave out of both players. The Hydralisks are obviously going to do a ton of damage. Need to get those Zealots in front. It looks like Hyun's got enough here. Yeah, he's got totally enough. Look at the supply difference happening. The Zerglings coming in from behind. That's probably going to be GG. The Protoss player had no plans for expanding past this, so he's pretty much just out of army. Looks like GungFuBanda was taking that a little bit personally, and he GG's out of the game. Pretty good game one out of Hyun. I think GungFu actually had a couple of really good opportunities to do a little bit more damage. 2 times doing a lot of economic damage to his opponent, but just didn't have the expansion behind this with the tech. Didn't have robo facilities for Colossus, didn't have up lots of Void Rays, so I just think his composition had to win in the early game. It's essentially a very late 2-base all-in was what GungFu had there. So we'll see what he can do in Game 2 coming up here right away.